D-Wood, are you more confident in Dallas' new offense with Mike McCarthy calling the plays?
I would say right now less. I would. I think, when you looked at Kellen Moore, their offense, they score more points per game with Kellen Moore calling the plays. And the one thing I said about the Dallas Cowboys, particularly this year, and I know it's early, they're a front-running team. A lot of it, yes, they're a front-running team because what happened in the games they won, their defense has smothered people, right? Their defense has smothered people, created turnovers, actually scoring points on the defense side of the football. And you know what that did? That let Dak Prescott and offense off the hook. They didn't really have any pressure on them. Well, the one game they actually had pressure on them was the Arizona game when Arizona was smacking them in the mouth, okay? They didn't have some type of substantial lead created by their defense. And what happened? They came up short offensively.
Yeah.
And so for me, I look at what Kellen Moore, the body of work that Kellen Moore put together over his team with the Dallas Cowboys. They always had like a top 5 offense. They were always, one of the highest scoring teams in the National Football League. I think the one criticism that you could say of Kellen Moore was maybe he could have been a better play caller, maybe situationally. But I think right now with where the Dallas Cowboys is right now in the season, I don't know if they're as explosive when Kellen Moore was a play caller than what it is right now with Mike McCarthy.
Here's my only issue. It took the Arizona game for people to be like, oh, I don't know about the Cowboys now. I suddenly don't know. How come that Arizona game can't be the aberration? Week 1, we were praising the Cowboys. Week 2, we were praising the Cowboys. That Arizona game, and we talk about Buffalo. They had one bad game, right? Start of the year. But we've at least said that's just one bad game by Josh Allen and the Bills. Cowboys have one bad game, and suddenly we can't get behind the Cowboys and say, you know what, this is a good team. We were praising Mike McCarthy in week 1. All of a sudden, we have less confidence in Mike McCarthy. Suddenly, Mike McCarthy don't know how to call plays. In week 4, is that what we're saying, Damian?
Did I say Mike McCarthy couldn't call plays? That wasn't the question, was it? That was not the question.
Off of one game.
That was not the question.
Off of one game, suddenly.
Listen, it's a small, I preface everything I said by it's early. Right? That's what I said.
That's like saying we'll see.
I said it's early.
Let's see.
But right now,
it's fluid.
listen.
It's fluid.
It is. It's always fluid. It's always fluid. But I'm just saying right now in this early part of the season, when the Dallas Cowboys weren't granted an early lead and just smothered the team, what happened?
All right, before Dan gets in here, crispy.
Yeah, he looked
crispy.
The
beard, the lines,
I was literally waiting on that.
And the black.
Because you always peep out,
I know. Yeah, I pay attention when someone goes to the barber.
Your barber gotta get raised, bro.
Yeah, he does pretty good.
He does good, right?
You want to talk?
You running hoops after this?
Oh, yeah.
I am. I'm comfortable. Wait a minute, man. Chill.
Whoa.
I am
Whoa. Get the toothbrush out.
What, for your teeth?
Clean those babies.
More confident in the offense this year. That's why, why are you guys? I heard everybody this offseason constantly say, is Dak going to throw less interceptions? Now Dak has thrown less interceptions.
Come on with it.
The offense might be less explosive, mainly because it hasn't been asked to be explosive because they've had all these leads. And we sit there and say that you're less confident. We can't speak out of both sides of our mouths. We can't say
the first take.
We can't say Dak Prescott throw less interceptions, and then he does that and be like, well, I'm less confident. Last thing is this. The Arizona game. They played without 3 offensive linemen. 2 of those guys are going to the Hall of Fame. Both of those guys, 2 backup offensive linemen in the red zone, had big penalties when it comes to holding calls that took away more realistic red zone opportunities. The last thing I'd say about
You making excuses?
No, but we can't just sit there and say I'm less confident. The last thing I say is this: tight ends catch the football in the red zone. I'll sit right next to you.
Wow, you're disrespectful. That's foul.
Let's catch the football in the red zone, tight ends.
What's happening?
We can't sit here and say less confident when the big complaint was the interception.
I don't know, but Dan, you need to clean your shoes. Your shoes are awful.
I think Stephen A. sat down because he wanted people to see these red bottoms right here.
Ooh.
No. Not after that first pitch I threw with the red bottoms. I didn't want people to see that. And secondly, they're a little bit dirty because I had to walk through some dirt in the seaport where I had to park, Molly, but you left that out. You don't have a driveway.
What are you talking about? You didn't have to walk through dirt.
That's where I parked. You'll
At the
see.
seaport?
Mind your business. I'm telling you the truth. I'm giving you facts. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me
Give
get
us
to the
facts on the
point.
Cowboys.
Let me give you facts about the Cowboys. This is what disgusts me about Dan Orlovsky and his Orlovskys. It's ridiculous, so corny. But this is what bothers me about his point. You're sitting there talking about the Dallas Cowboys offense is better.
happening?
It's better.
Why does this show not win an Emmy?
They averaged 29
I
a
want a
game.
chair.
29 a game last season. That may not be the case this year, but I'm not even speaking statistically. What they've done is they said, we're going to run the ball more. We're going to throw it a little bit less. Why? Because we don't want to expose Dak Prescott. That's really what it said.
No,
that's really what they said.
Excuse me.
No. I'm not talking about what they've done. I'm talking about coming into the season. I don't mean that.
Okay, yes,
I'm talking about
yes,
coming
yes.
into the season.
Want me to
That
get you
was
a
their
chair?
objective. So the point is, their whole objective is to minimize the situations and conditions under which they're going to put him in a position where he can make mistakes. And that's your definition of better. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's your definition of better.
That's the definition of good coaching.
Excuse me. I'm not saying that it's not a wise strategy to implement.
Okay.
I'm saying in the end, when you know the moment is going to come down to him, shielding him from making those mistakes doesn't make your offense better.
Yes,
it does not.
Okay, I was on with you all last year. What would you say would have been the biggest gripe of their offense last year? The biggest failing point of their offense?
What a gentleman.
The 15 interceptions he threw that tied for a league high, even though he missed 5 games.
So that should be a focal point for their offense.
Molly's wearing stiletto bell bottoms, by the way. But go ahead.
Well, stiletto bell bottom.
What the hell it is?
Yo, what are those heels?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Fashion.
I'm just saying.
You guys, honestly, don't even try me when it comes to
Dan
this.
with the socks.
Yeah, I
Dan
couldn't
with
care
the
less
socks.
about that.
Talking about like.
Here's my thing. So,
Go ahead, man.
Were you overly confident in their offense last year?
No!
So
I'm never overly confident in the Cowboys.